Do I just speak here into the straw of my drink? No. Right, I just speak normally. Okay, I think I can handle that. Hello, it's me, the Hat, live via satellite from Aruba. I feel like I'm on the Oscars or something. I'd like to thank God, and my parents, and the neighbor's dog, and everyone else in my block. Anyway, kind of getting off topic here. Thanks for coming to the open house. Sorry I couldn't make it. I was a bit bummed out considering all the work I did to get you there. But truth be told, I won an all-expenses-paid trip answering a trivia question on Big 105. And when you win a trip on the radio, I guess you just go when they say you go. Not that I'm complaining. Right, anyway, back to business, and enough about me and my fancy tropical vacation. Thanks for coming to the open house. This is really an exciting project, and today you can shape some important aspects of it. All you have to do is go through the guided tour and provide your input. Now, don't be shy. Use your imagination and think big. Big like the teepee in Medicine Hat, or big like the Easter egg in Beggarville, or perhaps the giant beaver in Beaver Lodge. Hey, wait a minute. That's got me thinking. Why is it we don't have a giant red deer in Red Deer? It is budget time. Maybe we could slide in a spiffer for a giant red deer? I'm going to leave that one to Craig Curtis. I am an Aruba after all. Right, anywhere, where were we? I'm quickly learning that emceeing might not be a skill that I should put at the top of my resume. Not that I'm working on my resume or looking for a job, I need to be clear. I'm just saying that I have some professional development work to do in the emceeing field and keeping things on track. Right, here I go again. I better get back to business again. Without further ado, let me introduce the Craigs. Craig Curtis, our fearless leader, and Craig Weber, our fearless architect. Enjoy their presentation, and remember, use your imagination. Think big, like our giant red deer. See you guys later.
Okay, well, the hat is a hard act to follow, and my purpose today is just to introduce the project in the context of the overall downtown. In terms of our City Hall, it was built originally in around 1967, and it was thought that it would last for many years, but by 1980, the city had way outgrown it, added 2 more floors, and said it would be good for another 40 years. Well, we all know that we've now expanded into about 4 or 5 buildings. So what we've decided to do this time around is really look to the future, design for 40 years ahead, and then build part of it. So what we're looking at is a whole civic center complex, and we're looking at it in the context of our Greater Downtown Action Plan, which you see here. So as we move the civic yards out of the downtown area, here, between what was the railway yards once upon a time and the river, that allows us to bring Waskesiu Park into the city centre and build an exciting development in Riverlands. But at the same time, we've got the historic downtown area behind, which will link all the way through via Alexander Way. And that historic downtown area is actually the key aspect of it, and the heart of the city is City Hall Park and what we'll now call the Civic Center Complex, embracing the existing City Hall in its expanded form, the existing library in its expanded form, a new annex across the road where the existing RCMP building is, and the new parkade. So that will all be phased over time, and you'll hear from Craig how that will be done. And the next picture, please. So in the downtown, we have the Riverlands area, the rail yards area, sometimes called Cannery Row, and the historic downtown. And they're all linked together in the new Greater Downtown Action Plan opportunity for development. Next. And so here again we have the Riverlands and its waterway system, the bridge across the Bar Ponds, and all the opportunities for development on vacant sites here over the next 20, 30 years. That will be linked through, and here we have the core of the historic downtown, City Hall Park, existing City Hall Library, and the buildings on the old RCMP site, the present RCMP building, and the parkade site above the transit terminal. Next. And here you see it all kind of put together in terms of City Hall Park, City Hall itself, which will not go higher because there are structural problems with that and a huge disruption. What we've chosen instead is to build an annex across the road, which will be able to expand as we need more offices in the same way as the other office block did very neatly in the downtown over the last couple of years, over the last year in fact, and then that will all be linked into a new parkade. These two will be linked by a plus 15, and the library will have expanded facilities. So how that'll all be phased in one civic center complex, I'll turn it over to Craig Weber.
Just to carry on, one of the things that we found very interesting in watching the Downtown Action Plan come together, as Craig had just mentioned, was the way that the three different areas were sort of being considered in the long term for the greater downtown, and how that development would extend over probably a 30 or 40 year period. And then this project kind of responds to that in terms of its time horizons, looking at what the needs of the city would be for the longer term, and provides that flexibility and the opportunity for growth to take place. But this really starts to become one of the key anchors to the overall plan, kind of anchoring the core of the existing downtown. And it was interesting for us that as people looked at it, the broader community looked at the downtown, where they placed the heart of the downtown, really focused right around the green space that was available in the downtown core. So we really felt that this building and how it responded to this civic center was an important aspect to the project. As Craig had mentioned, we have the new annex building coming across. This would be the first phase of the project. It would take place on the RCMP site. It would provide much needed expansion space for existing city departments, but it would also allow us from a phasing perspective to find room for the movement of people from the existing City Hall building to move over into this, and allow the renovations and additions to take place on this side for some of the other elements in a way that doesn't disrupt all the operations of business, while trying to have a very full building being renovated around people. What we're talking about as well is a very extensive renovation that would include a full replacement of all mechanical systems within the existing building. Part of the elements as well that were mentioned were the key linkages between amenities downtown, like parking, a linkage to the building, and a linkage between the annex and the existing City Hall complex, creating one complex that all works together so that you have that flow of employees and information, and the civic administration and business all taking place in one facility, and then kind of enlivened and invigorated by some of the other activities that are going on in the library, and having a real place that would give citizens multiple reasons to come into the facility other than just paying your taxes or doing those things. It's a center of the community, if you will. Maybe the next slide. We'll walk you through very quickly the project on the lower levels. The two buildings are separated by 49th Street, so they're not interconnected. The blue areas kind of denote the public space within those levels. You will notice here that the existing City Hall building is being physically attached on the lower levels and at all levels to both the Centennial Library and the Children's Library. There would be one mechanical system operating for this whole building, making it a very large, efficient plant system that would run one complex. Next slide.